Gus, what are going to be your memories when you jog out on the field here Saturday?
I mean, obviously a lot. Just kind of get a lot of, like, just all the family you've had throughout the years, all the support through that, and then all the wins we've had, kind of going through even some last week, kind of teammates you've had, kind of the big wins, some of like the cool experiences you've had, just kind of remembering all those, and really I think it's a lot of the relationships and just kind of the pride for Purdue.
Is it a different feeling than last year, where you knew you had another year of eligibility?
Yeah, like going through last year was like, okay, like what am I gonna do? Like, how's it this? But this year it's like, okay, you don't have a choice. Like, this is where you're done. Like, this is where you're going. So kind of having that reality, like this is the last home game you'll ever have in Ross-Ade, and kind of when you go out for the game, come out for the game, or finish the game, come in, kind of be reflecting on that. Kind of probably before the game, after the game, during the game, go out and play, but just kind of have that harsh reality, like this is the last time you're going out there as a player. So yeah, it's a little different than last year.
What's your best memory of Ross-Ade?
It's tough between like winning the bucket game. Like I think we won twice here, and then we beat Michigan State, and like you stormed the field again, like that night, kind of having that, like kind of between those would be the really cool ones, kind of having that huge upset, and then the rivalry games.
What do you hope the younger guys took away from you these last couple of years?
I think just kind of like the way I approach things, just kind of the process of which I go about, try and be consistent and do everything the right way, and like not skip over details, not skip over anything, just kind of the way I approach like kind of football and life, and just kind of go about that, and hopefully set a good example for a lot of these young guys on the team.
You've been here through a coaching change, the highs of being in a Big Ten championship game, the struggles at times.
Yep.
But KJ kind of talked about the guys who stuck that out. What did it kind of say about the people who stayed through this whole process and seen kind of both ends of the spectrum here?
I think it's kind of like through that, like first year we were very good, and next years we were pretty good. Last years we haven't been great. But kind of going through that, I think you kind of have, like, it kind of builds you into like a person, right? Like you kind of go through the ebbs and flows, and then I think you kind of like the school aspect of it, like the pride for Purdue. Like, been here 5 years, like I'll have 3 pieces of paper when I get out of here. Like, kind of having that like pride, like this is where I went. Kind of having that, like going through the ebbs and flows, going through the coaching change, like sticking with the same school. Like, it doesn't, like, coaches will come and go, but the school is always going to be like Purdue's going to be Purdue. Like that's not going to change. And kind of going through that, I think is a really cool aspect that not a lot of people in today's college athletics really get to say. So kind of having that, I think it's been an awesome experience.
How do you want to be remembered, Gus?
I think just kind of the way I work, just kind of the way I go about my business, and try and come out and work and be able to put my best foot forward, and hopefully leave a mark on some of these younger guys, and kind of like just have the ability to go out and be consistent, be the same guy, go out and do the best I can be.
Centers don't get a lot of stats, but one stat you have, I know the injury kind of sucked, but you played a lot of games here. So
Yep.
Is that something you took pride in, is like you came in, you started kind of that first year, and you've just been a constant for this team?
Yeah, I think that's a really cool. I haven't even looked it up. I was thinking today, like, I've got to be kind of close to the like top career starts, right? Like if all goes well, I'll get close to 50, which would be just got to be just numbers wise. Like if you start for 4 years, like it's got to be kind of close to that. Mm-hmm. So kind of having that, I think, is really cool. Just being consistent and be able to come in and be able to do that from a young age and be able to consistently play, I think has been an awesome. It's been really cool. Just kind of going from being a young guy to now being the old guy. Like, you don't feel like that, but you go through that, and now you're being looked upon in different ways. So I think just kind of being consistent and kind of having that much experience is really cool.
When you started for the first time, can you name the other guys you started with you?
Yeah, so I started. My first game was my first start was a Friday night game against Minnesota in 2020. It was also Rondale's first game back, but I started right guard. Greg Long was at right tackle. Sam Garvin was a center. Spencer Holstead was a left guard. Grant Herman was his left tackle. Yeah, and then it was actually felt like the first play. They tried to get Rondale the ball, and my first start, I'm supposed to go take the guy that has Rondale, totally mess on that guy, and he hits Rondale. I'm getting kind of yelled at on the sideline. Riley, it's like, Coach, okay, we're fine. Like, you're all right, you're all right. Like, it's your first start. You're okay. Just kind of going through that, like memories like that, like kind of cool experiences.
Getting yelled at by Dale Williams?
From time to time, yeah. I've had my share.
That was the Payne Durham offensive pass.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
his first start, and they're like, well, like I think like they like refunded bats or something because like everyone was saying such a bad call. I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna.
I think you're off the hook now. You can bash officiating from 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm past statute of limitations.
Is your heir apparent on the roster? Who's going to be center next year?
I mean, I think they've got a lot of good options, but I'm sure with the nature of this year, I'm sure they'll try and bring in some guys to compete. I think you got Ethan and Jimmy are both kind of in that young realm, and Joey too. Like Joey's played a little bit center in high school just from back then, so you could have a lot of guys come in and do it. But I'm sure with the nature of this world, I think there's 7 alignment going through senior day, so I think you got a lot of guys losing a lot of production. So I'm sure they'll bring some guys in.